It's us again, the two Lees, and we are discussing. We're doing the San Diego Comic-Con roundup, I guess, of all the stuff that's come out. All of the garbage.
Garbage, yeah. We're going to miss some things because obviously there's some series that we don't watch, some things we've stopped watching and other things we're just genuinely not interested in, so apologies if you're expecting certain things, we don't cover them. But where should we start? I guess the place to start is what you carrying on from last week with Picard. What are your thoughts now that we have the San Diego Comic-Con trailer for Picard? What are your thoughts? Have they changed at all, or?
No, well, I mean, I knew it was going to be this sort of, I guess, pirate ship sort of cruise sort of thing. You know, this ragtag group of, Picard's gone off against Starfleet with this sort of like group of like rebels or whatever they are to go do something. There's that woman in the trailer who's obviously some kind of thing. MacGuffin. She's like, super powerful.
She's a Q, probably. I'm calling it now.
I don't know about that.
No,
I think it's something to do with the Borg. There's a Borg cube.
There is a Borg cube. There's a Borg cube, and there's a 7 of 9 as well, who doesn't really sound like 7 of 9 in any capacity at all. But there we go. I mean, I suppose the thing is, and it was a point you guys covered last week, was the idea is this doesn't seem like Star Trek. It's in the vein of Serenity, it's in the vein of other things where you've got a group coming together, or a group of misfits coming together and then going off and completing some sort of adventure or quest or whatever.
It reminds me of that fan film series that Tim Russ and a load of other Star Trek alumni wanted to do. And it was like this sort of renegade ship of like misfits that had to go on this sort of mission because Starfleet were like, oh no, we can't get involved or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it doesn't seem like Star Trek, does it? Let's sort of face it. It's at least not the Star Trek in the capacity that I would want it to be. I'm not as big a Trek fan as yourself. But saying that, I know what I would want. I watched Next Gen, I watched Voyager. I know what I would have liked what I expect to see in a Star Trek series, and this doesn't look like it's going to go that way. Unusual appearance. A few people talking about the appearance of Data as well, and yeah, you're laughing because that was either an awful lot of. That was a whole lot of makeup, wasn't it?
I don't know what it was. If it was practical makeup or just sort of like CGI overlaid over him or something like that. It just didn't look right.
Well, I mean, I suppose we usually...
It looks like he's gained a lot of weight.
Yeah, he does look a bit chunkier, doesn't he? But you and I are quite overly critical of a lot of things. Is there anything... I mean, you're going to watch it, presumably, still?
Yeah, well, I got Amazon Prime, so...
Yeah. I mean, we'll give it a look and, give it the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully it will be better than we're giving it credit for.
Well, we'll watch it and critique it, I guess.
Oh yes, yeah, and it'll be heavily critiqued, I'm sure, if it's a duffer. What else did we discuss? We said we were going to cover in this as well, where the trailers were there.
Top Gun, Maverick.
We're back on the same subject again. Should something be made? Should this film be made? No.
Did anyone ask, or did anyone know that it was coming out?
Well, there was there's been talk of a Top Gun sequel going way back when. If it happened, it should have happened way back when, but we've still got this thing where they're making sequels a lot later, from 70s films, from 80s films, from 90s films now as well, and they're making these sequels which, like I said, no one asked for. And I mean, Tom Cruise, Ed Harris being in it, and he looked quite old in, he's been looking old, but he looks really, really old in this one.
Patrick Stewart in the car.
Yes, yeah. So, but again, it's one of those that I'm not in a rush to see. I have spoken to a couple of people who really like Top Gun, and they say they're looking forward to it, but again, it's not something that piques my interest.
Like Top Gun. It seems more like a woman's film, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It is.
Sorry, I don't mean to.
No. The thing is, but it's not.
But it's not. It's not. From what you expect of it, it's not like. I guess like a high octane action movie.
No, but it's a film which I have watched, and I can understand why people like it. It's certainly not the worst film ever made. It's another one of those films that was made back then, and you have, this iconic soundtrack and things. Well, iconic maybe is a bit strong, but this memorable soundtrack and these things that actually make the film. I think there were good sequences with the aircraft and things like that. And I mean, I've always liked Tom Cruise. I think his some of his films, which get downplayed a lot, films like one of my favourites of his was The Last Samurai, and I think that got really brushed to one side essentially. But I think as a piece of cinema, as an actual movie, I think it's very, very good. But he's got a lot of fans, and I think he'll keep making these sort of films. I think he'll keep doing the Mission Impossible films until he's basically dead. I think he's still doing the stunts, isn't he, as well? Is he doing the stunts as well on these things? So, fair play to him. Guy must be indestructible in some capacity. But
do a Mummy sequel.
Oh dear. Yeah, the Dark Universe kind of is, unfortunately. Someone somewhere had a wonderful idea to create a universe where, hey, let's do a monster version of the Avengers, and yeah, that kind of didn't work out at all, did it? So I wouldn't expect anything else from that, but still. Anyway, getting back to San Diego, they also revealed The Witcher as well, which a lot of people were looking forward to. Obviously Henry Cavill in the lead for that one, now that we know he's not going to play Superman again.
He's super bold.
Yeah, he is. He's been doing a lot of training, obviously, having a lot of protein shakes for that. Yeah, when I first heard it was Henry Cavill that was going to be in that role, I thought that he was far too clean cut. I thought he wasn't.
Well, when they first. Apologies for the bells.
The bells. Oh, sorry. Had to do it. But yeah,
when the first poster came out and they revealed him, he looked very sort of. I don't know if they airbrushed it or whatever. It was very.
Yeah, he didn't seem to. They seemed to bring that out as if to say, yeah, we're doing this, but everyone knew it, and it was him anyway. And it was like they just put a wig on him, and it's Henry Cavill. So. Now that we actually see the trailer, we actually see the context, it does seem, he does have, there is obviously the grittier elements are there. There's obviously going to be a lot of, one would assume a lot of action, because obviously he's hunting these beasts. We do see a couple of the creatures as well, I think, is at the end of the trailer, where it actually comes up. And the CGI doesn't look that bad. I mean, I've never played the games. Or read the books, the original books for that matter. My wife played the games. I sort of was watching some of it as she was playing some of the story and things. I know it's got a big following, but it'd be interesting to see what they do with that one. I will give it a watch. I do like this one,
Shut up.
Yes. You talk to me.
No,
No, that's a good job. Good job with bells, yeah. So, trying to think what other ones there were.
There isn't really much, I don't think, was there?
I didn't want to talk about, I'm not going to talk about Marvel. I'm not going to talk about Marvel. Lee doesn't really, you don't really do the Marvel for the stuff. You don't really do the superhero stuff.
Well, I suppose we could talk about it if we've got time.
Well, there's not really a lot to talk about. I mean, they announced all these films that they're going to be doing post Avengers Endgame. A lot of people were excited for it. A lot of people were like, and nah. I mean, I think it's good that they're going to start. I know one of your big criticisms of Marvel is, you know, having it all tied together like it does and then having to fight a big bad. And now it sounds like what they're doing is going to be doing individual films. Is
I
going
don't know where they can go after.
No, I think that's the...
I think they just blew all their load all in one go, if you know what I mean. And,
that's an interesting interesting analogy there. No, well, you can't really say they did it in one go because it was a 22 film.
No,
arc,
but you know they've done it. They've basically peaked and climaxed. Sorry, but you know what I mean. They've pretty much. I mean, where can they? I mean, I'm not a Marvel.
There's a lot of the thing with comic books is there's a lot of stories that they can take. I think certain things have failed where they've tried to mash stories together, like Batman, Superman, for example. They took Death of Superman, they took Dark Knight Returns, a couple other things, mushed them all together, and it didn't work. I think there are stories and things that they can do and can use as single pieces. I'm guessing that's going to be what the Joaquin Phoenix Joker film is going to be about, because they said that's going to be very different to the comics, but it's going to be like an individual story, whether it's set in a different universe or whatever, it doesn't matter. But, you know, like you said, Marvel are, they're kind of being quite bold, but well, again, I'm going to watch it. I am a Marvel fan, so, you know, when I read the comics. But yeah, I can't go into too much detail about it because, like I said, they just announced it, really. They just announced all these films, and I'm kind of like, yeah, cool, I'll watch them. But still, I know you wanted to talk about Cats.
Yeah, I saw the trailer earlier.
People are saying genuinely terrifying. Is it meant to be a horror film? I don't think it is. Yeah, they've done something really weird with this, where they've kind of made it like you're watching the play, and they've created these, you know, CGI, well, presumably CGI with costume cat.
Well, I'd say probably costume characters were sort of enhanced.
Oh.
With CGI, I guess.
But I mean, again, obviously there's a wealth of acting talent there, no doubt. I mean, I think Judi Dench, Idris Elba, and a number of other people. But you're watching it. I watched the trailer, and again, it's like I'm watching the stage play. I don't know if they're going to make a film based on something like that. Why they didn't, be it a musical or anything, why they didn't sort of like make it more cinematic. It just looks to me like you're watching a play or a recording of a play, and yeah, that's very odd. But do you think they're scary?
Well, I don't know. I mean, what if they did it with actual cats, like?
Well, like real cats, you know, like I said, what, going out and actually doing auditions of cats?
No, but I mean, you know, obviously you've got like these films where they have like, you know, what's it called? What's the one with the puppies?
101 Dalmatians.
There's like these, there's all these films with, you know, the talking dogs. And the
talking
cats.
Like Cats and Dogs and all those sorts of things. Yeah, I mean, that's the sort of thing which I would have thought they might have gone down the lines.
Something like The Lion King.
Yeah.
Very much sort of.
But that's what I think they should have done.
Realistic.
Excuse me.
Take, I guess.
That's what I think they should have done. And, you know, they didn't. They've chosen to go down this path, which is, obviously the stage play has to do it this way because you've got actors in those roles, but it just seems odd that they've chosen that. especially, and you know, off the back now with the whole Sonic the Hedgehog thing, which we mentioned before, it's very, very
You're
peculiar.
gonna have a lot of furries watching that film.
Can't help myself, can you? One thing I want to talk about quickly that I am quite excited for, which I think they are doing very, very bravely, is Dark Crystal. The fact that I think they showed some more footage. They showed some of the animatronics and things they're using. It's very bold in this day and age to go to the old school style, the Jim Henson style, and make a prequel, I think it is, isn't it? Or is it set just before the events of the film?
I don't know, I haven't seen it.
You've seen the Dark Crystal though? You've seen the original Dark Crystal? You've not seen the original Dark Crystal?
No.
Why am I here talking about films and things with you if you haven't seen the original Dark Crystal?
Well, I haven't seen every single film.
Go and watch the Dark Crystal and we'll talk about the Dark Crystal.
We'll watch that film.
Anyway, yes, but even so, you can, it is still going back to using that old sort of tech rather than doing something CGI. So, I mean, you know, some people may say, some of the younger people might say, oh, well, you know, it doesn't look real, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, that's what we grew up with, so it's nice
Well,
to
I mean,
see.
it always looks real when you use practical effects over digital, because you don't get the imperfections of real life. You don't get the shading and, you know, the specular, you know, of water and stuff like that.
Like CGI and out a mustache, for example.
Yeah.
Back to Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah.
All the different sort of things to do with how light interacts with objects. You don't get that with CGI.
No, absolutely. I suppose there is something else. I knew there was another one I wanted to talk about. Terminator. The next Terminator film, which is bringing back Linda Hamilton and apparently Edward Furlong now, and obviously Arnold's in it as well.
Wow. What was the quote from James Cameron? Edward Furlong is in it or something?
Yes, yeah.
But it's apparently it's going to be his face mapped over another actor or something.
Is it?
Yeah, and then he's going to do like the voice.
Yeah, going back to that whole, you know, putting someone's face on a different actor, and yeah, it's just. I don't know what to say about the Terminator series in general. That's probably one for a full-on discussion. But I see that, and James Cameron was genuinely generally, you know, saying, "Oh yeah, this is coming back, and this is happening."
He says that about every single Terminator.
No, he does. Yes, he does. He said it about Terminator 3, which should give us some warning. Though he was, I've got to give him credit. He did come out this week and say about, you know, congratulations to Avengers Endgame. Now the biggest movie of all time. Yes. Whatever it takes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I'm a fanboy, you know, I said, but yeah, still. Cool. Well, that was it. That was all good. I don't think, you know, like I said, I think Terminator will be one for a separate occasion, really.
Possibly. Now that we've wrapped it all up, the bells have stopped.
That's just the same, isn't it? That's always the same. Just typical. You know, you might be thankful for the bells ringing over our inane chatter about random stuff. I don't know.
So that's it, isn't it?
We call it.
Not really much to talk about, to be honest.
No. Well, I did a lot of talking, even though I got, you know, my voice has come back, fortunately.
His voice is going.
It is a bit raspy, so yeah. But yeah.
Okay then. Bye.
No enthusiasm at all.
No.
Look, you know, this is where you say, okay, catch you later, gang.
Yeah,
or something
see ya,
like that.
bye.
See ya, bye. That's it. More effort. Thank you. Cheers.